Hello, planets. Now, if your head feels full but you just don't even know where to start, you are in the right place. Now, you don't need a new system today. You'll just need somewhere to put everything that's been swirling around in that head of yours. This is a calm, guided brain dump. We'll clear the noise first. Then, what we're going to do is gently plan only what matters next. So, if you're ready, I am ready. Let's go. Hello, planets. Welcome. Happy New Year. I am really glad you're here today. So, whether you're watching us live or watching on the replay, this is our monthly brain dump and reset. So, I do these sessions. It is Sunday here in Sydney, Australia. So, I do it every first Sunday of the month. For those of you watching in different time zones, it might be your Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. You are welcome here. Now, if we haven't met before, hello there. I am Marianne. And like I said, I do these guided sessions as well as Plan With Me and all gentle restart, resets, and Plan With Me videos here on YouTube. But today isn't about fixing your whole life. Okay. So, no fixing today. We're just going to, it's about getting what's in your head down on paper so then that way you can breathe a little bit easier. Now, you can use my free brain dump guide. So I have the link pinned in the live chat as well as in the description. So there is a guided brain dump along with a blank grid printable that you can go and dump all of your thoughts, ideas, a task that's swirling in your head. So if you haven't grabbed that yet, you can grab that after the session, but any blank piece of paper will work. Both are just fine. So if this kind of calm planning is going to be helpful for you, of course, you are very welcome to like this stream or subscribe so then that way you know when the next one is on. Before we get started, let me quickly check the live chat and see who is here with us today. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Nice to see you. Yes. Hi, Planerets waving. I hope you had a wonderful birthday. Yes, I did. Yesterday, 3rd of January, was my 51st birthday. So you can see I've got my big numbered balloons there. So I did have a wonderful time with my husband and children. Roseanne, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining from Florida. I appreciate you being here so much. And of course, if you are also watching on replay, make sure you type in the comments where you are tuning in from and how your new year is as well. So let us quickly now have a look at our desk. Okay, so just so you know, once we start the brain dump and sorting, I'll have a timer on screen. So it's going to be mostly quiet while we work. Now, you don't need to chat the whole time. Being here quietly absolutely counts. And if it helps, you can drop a heart right now just to let me know that you have settled in. You are ready to go. So how's today going to work for those of you that might be new to my brain dump session? First, we're going to do a 10-minute, put a 10-minute timer on the screen. So just grab whatever's in your head, write it down, and not to worry about making it all pretty or all make sense. And then what we'll do is we're going to sort and categorize what we have written down. So a lot of brain dumping that I know personally that I've seen around just stops at the brain dump, which is fine. If that's what your mental, physical energy and capacity can manage, that is okay. But what we'll do today, I'll show you how to sort things for today and tomorrow, for the week, for the month, any future things that pop up in your head, as well as separate any noise, feelings, or thoughts that just need to be written down somewhere rather than in your head. And then after that, we're only going to plan for the near future. So there are things for today, tomorrow, and the week, nothing beyond that. I know for me, especially in the past, before I started doing brain dump, I had everything in my head that I think I have to do everything all right now or in the immediate future. Everything else that might be for the following week or later on in the month, that can sit in your brain dump page, and then you can look at it when the time comes. Okay, so and then also, if things do feel a little bit overwhelming right now, for those who might go, oh, I'm feeling behind already, I haven't set up my planner pages, it is okay. I'll also show you how to pick just one focus and break it down into 3 small actionable doable steps, and then that way when you do that, then you just do another one focus at a time. So you don't need to do this perfectly. So please know that. Just follow along. If you're feeling a little bit lost, just let me know in the live chat, type in the comments or any questions you have. Now, if this sounds good, please type yes in the chat if you are ready to go. I appreciate you all so much. All right, so let me quickly show you my desk. This is my A5 Filofax Camden organizer, and this is where I house the printables that I have. So I am going to be in my Hobonichi planners for my daily, weekly planning, but this is where a lot of my printables live. As you can see, I purchased myself the Atomic Habits workbook just to help me, realign myself with my own habits. So let me know if that's something you want to know about. I can do a separate video on that. But here I've got my clear divided tabs, and I've got my brain dump here. So there's my guide. I'll use that because even though I've been doing brain dump for a while, I don't need to keep all that information in my head when I have a guide to tell me step by step. But this is what this video is about. So you can see all my previous brain dump. Let me grab a clean page. So this is freebie, okay? So that you've got the brain dump guide, you've got a trigger list as well. And this is a grid, very faint grid paper, so then that way you can write straight. But again, excellent. Cindy is ready. I love it. And then I will also get my running to-do list. I'll move this out of the way so then I have nice clear space. Now, I think I have it in the description. If you did want to check Filofax US, UK, and European site, I do have affiliate discount code that you can check in the description if that is something you want to look at. Okay, so like I said, you do have the trigger list. So that is part of the freebie. Okay, so if you go, I don't even know where to start. I know I've got lots in my head, but I can't seem to, when the time comes, you sort of go, I don't even know what to write. Okay, so tasks, reminders, worries, ideas, half thoughts. If it pops up in your head, it goes down on paper. Okay, so use your brain dump guide if you are feeling stuck, and because it has quite a few different little trigger lists to help you jog your memory. You can glance at it or just let things come up naturally. I'll start with a quiet 10-minute timer. Now, if you do finish before that, I highly recommend do not look at your phone, don't get distracted. Use that time as your little break, right? Just sit there, look outside the window, and just, you'll be surprised that more thoughts pop into your head. Let's quickly have a look. I see some people pop in the live chat. Hello, Melinda. Kia ora. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, everyone, and a happy birthday to you, Mary. Thank you, Melinda. I appreciate that. Sheila, hello. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining. I love it. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, so what we're going to do, let us get ready. Let me put a 10-minute timer on the screen. I'm going to use one of my pretty pens, colorful pens, and let's get everything out of our head and down on paper. Let's go, everybody. Okay, let's pause there for a little bit. Now, if you didn't finish, that's okay. You can always keep writing later. Let me quickly check the chat because I see a few new faces show up. Hello, hello. Eastern Girls Crafting. Hello, nice to see you. Hello, everyone. I'm new here, so just watching for now, which is perfectly fine. But then if you get the urge to write, something does pop in your head, whatever pen and paper you have handy, make sure to get it down, because I don't know if you're like me. I'll be like thinking something. I went, oh, let me try and remember that. And then second, flips, and then it's like, what was that thing I just thought of? I can't figure it out. Hello, Brenda. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. And as you can see, Eastern girls, let us know if you your first name if you want to only. Of course, you don't have to. But as you can see, my wonderful plannerettes here in the community are very welcoming. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Brenda. Yes, I've got my big 5-1 balloon in the background. I thought, take advantage of it. Poor husband who's like, he just blew it up, manually, no helium or anything. He was like, ooh. I saw him trying to blow that one up. So yeah, I thought, well, gotta take advantage of that. And he picked the right colors, my the pinks and the purples and the blue. Hello, Susan. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Excellent, excellent. All right, so it is now time to sort. Let me quickly make sure I'm in the right spot. It is now time to categorize. So just quickly, I just wrote mine down. So 10 minutes. There were a few bits there where I had nothing left in my head, so I thought. And then that's where my brain dump trigger list came in. I went through them and I went, oh yes, that's right. Some house tasks have been ignoring. So pop that down. So if you have been doing brain dump with me for a little bit, and you have your previous page that you had your brain dump, that's another great place to check any thoughts that might have popped into your head that time that you may want to action for this week. Some of these ones, which is future ideas, I'm going to keep it there. So then that way I don't have to rewrite it yet, because all we're going to do when we sort things out now are things that we want to go and really that's important right now, that matters right now for us. So use your brain dump guide. So this is that freebie. Let me see if I can pop this in the chat. There we go. I've got the if you haven't yet downloaded it, it's a free printable. You've got the brain dump trigger list, the grid paper. There's also a self-care bingo card there and a simple habit tracker. So it's called the Calm and Clear Starter Kit, and I just have it printed and pop in my planner, so then when I need to use it, it's there. So I'm going to go through this brain dump guide with the different categories on how I categorize my list. Of course, you can categorize whatever makes sense for you, the way your brain works, your lifestyle. You might want to categorize things for work, things for the children, things for the home, things for personal. Okay, so if you don't know where to start, then a time frame like I'm doing here is a great place to start. So I've got my colorful markers because I'm a visual learner, I'm a visual planner. I love having color to help me really from a bird's eye point of view see exactly what things need to get done for today and tomorrow. I'm going to use green, so you can use the same color coding that I'm doing. So I'm going to categorize the things I've written down for today and tomorrow, and then the things that I want to do or look into for this week only. So Sunday here, so it'll be for the next, I think January 11th is next Sunday. Okay, so I'm going to use blue. Then I'm going to use purple, so things I would like to do for the month of January or for the next 30 days whenever you are doing your brain dump. And then if there's anything that I wrote down that's not for the immediate future but future plans and ideas, I'm going to highlight and circle that in yellow. And then if anything did pop up in your head that might be noise, self-doubt, limiting beliefs or worries, you can also circle that, because it's important that if it's in your head that we acknowledge it. If it's a little bit too heavy for the moment, you can park it and then come back another time to sort through them and maybe do an anxious log or a worry log. I normally do that when I can't manage everything on my own, so I will do a worry log. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1-minute timer for each category that we are going to sort. Now, I do this on this monthly brain dump for anyone new as well, because sometimes all we know exactly what to do. It's just we don't do it because, either we have too many stuff in our head, or we just need someone to help guide us. So I'm going to put a 1 minute timer. I put a 1 minute because then it helps you not overthink things, and it helps you start to build that prioritization muscle. So then you go, is that for today, tomorrow? Nope. Is that for this week? Yes. Is that for next month? 1 minute sort of like allows you to narrow the time for you to think about it. Okay. Roseanne, yes, hope everyone is doing well. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. All right, again, you can always come back if the 1 minute timer, if you need more than that, please, you can go and rewind. Do you rewind on YouTube? To scrub back and then use more time if you need it. So if you're not deciding we're not deciding how to action the things that we have brain dumped yet, all we're doing is sorting it to where it belongs. So again, if you do have any questions or comments, please type it in the chat so then I can check them in between. So let's put a timer on to categorize. So I'm going to grab my green highlighter, and anything I wrote down that I would like to do for today or tomorrow, I'm going to circle or highlight. Okay, let us go right now. Okay, so as you can see here, I was going through mine one at a time, deciding is that something I can do for today or need to do for today or tomorrow. And as you can see, I skipped some of them because they're not urgent. So if they don't get done today or tomorrow, nothing will fall apart. Okay, so again, if you still have a few things to go and look through, you can either come back to it, or the next time is you can go sort through them. So the next category that I'm going to go and highlight or circle, okay, so if you're following along with the brain dump guide, so the blue is anything that you would like to action and look into. So that doesn't necessarily mean to complete, but maybe just review, or have a look to see if there's anything that needs to get done. So for that, blue, things that we need to do for the next 7 days. All right, so go through your brain dump and do that as well. Oh, excellent. Oh, that's so lovely to hear, Roseanne. Been looking forward to this. Thanks. Oh, what's going on with my comments? Hopefully this will help guide you through. And again, if you are new to brain dumping, first of all, as an exercise, don't be hard on yourself if you go, oh, I don't have anything to brain dump, or I have too much, or I don't know how to categorize what I'm doing. You will learn for yourself what works for you. So you might go, Marianne, I don't want to do things to categorize by time frame. I want to do it with work, home, family. But you will only know this through the art of practicing and doing it on a regular basis. And that's why I do this once a month for anyone who's new or anyone who just needs to help get going. Okay, so I'm going to go look at things to do for the week. Let's go, everybody. Brilliant. Okay, so I've got a few things that I need to do for the next 7 days, and it's because I've been doing this for a little bit. It's only honestly been a year that I've been doing brain dumping, so it's not as if I've been doing this for years. In the past, I didn't want to brain dump because I was afraid, to put on paper the things that's in my head. But it's important, better out than in, right? So and then when you do a brain dump like this, you can give yourself that separation, and that little bit of space, and you can see it a lot clearer. You might go, oh, I don't need to do that for this week, or that can wait a little bit later. That's what brain dumping allows, is give you that little bit of space. And yes, Melinda says, always nicer to do this with like-minded people. Exactly. And it's a great for us way for us to hang out with each other, see what's happening in each other's little lives out on the other side of the world. That's it. Sheila says, kindred spirits and a big heart. Thank you. I love that. I love that. So anytime you are feeling like your head is cluttered and you can't wait for the next monthly brain dump, just put save for later or watch later one of my monthly brain dump, and then that way you feels like you have someone doing it alongside you. Okay, so the next category or time frame that I want to look at is things that I wrote down that is not for today, tomorrow, or the week, but I would like to look into for the month of January or for the next 30 days. And so for me, purple is the color I'm going to use. And again, these color coding, use your favorite colors. You use colors that will make sense for you. For me, it's just, well, the green, it's just, go, okay? And so these are just and of course, my zebra mild liners, they're sort of like, my rainbow colors, and on paper, I like how bright they are. But make sure you use color coding that works well for you. Or even like if you have any markers that you don't use as often, and then they're sitting there being unused, you can use that. So whatever suits you. All right, so I've grabbed my purple. Things that you need to do or look into for the next 30 days, or at least for the next month, for this month. All right, let's go. Okay, mine's looking colorful with all my cute little, it looks like little, bricks, or cobblestone. Is that what it is? So when we first started, when we brain dumped everything, everything was just all in one. So categorizing allows us now to see clearly. And if you start to get to know, or you have your little color code keys on the side, you start to get to know, I don't need to look at that color until next month, or I don't need to look at the things that I've highlighted in this particular color until the end of the week. And this is where sorting and categorizing gives you that little bit of breathing space. Okay, so the next one is yellow. So anything you wrote down that you want to not, don't want to forget, but it's not something that's urgent or important or a priority, but you want to make sure that you have it out of your head and down on paper. So any future ideas, that could be projects you want to do or holidays you want to look at into or plan. Okay, so I'm going to use yellow and I'll put another 1 minute on the timer. Let's go. Okay, so I didn't have a lot of things written down for future ideas. That's probably because I have done the brain dumping for a while, and I know my brain has trusted me enough because I've been doing this for a while that I don't need to hang on to things that are not immediate because it knows I have, what's the word? I have trained my brain to go, oh, that doesn't need to take up space in my mind because it knows I have written it down somewhere. And this is where brain dumping allows your brain to ease up and just go, oh, hey, brain, we don't need to hang on to that because you know what? Marianne has probably already written that down somewhere. And so that is why for me, when I first started doing the brain dump, I had lots, like it probably took a lot, another page. But as you go through this practice and this habit, what you're doing is you're training your brain to start trusting you. That is going, we have a system or a plan to do this, whether it's once a month or once a week or every couple of days, that I don't need to cling on to it. What our brain does when we cling onto these thoughts and ideas, and then that can drive us mad because it's like, oh, I've got so many things to do. I've got this and this and this, and I have to try and remember them. All the experts who learned about habits and your brain. Our brain is not, I think it was David Allen from his book, How to Get Things Done. Our brain is not meant as a storage system. It's meant for creativity, processing, all those stuff. It's not supposed to hold on to, things to do, task list. And then when it does, it's overloaded. And then it shuts down because it's trying to hang on to these things because it goes, if we forget this, then things will fall behind and then things might not go well at work. And so that's where the anxiety and the stress start to creep in. Okay, so that's what brain dumping does. Gives you that breathing space. Let's have a look. Hello, Annabelle. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Let's quickly have a look. Hello, hello. Happy New Year. Thanks for popping by. All right, so the next thing that might have come up, oh, actually, while I was highlighting some of my future plans, more things popped up. Okay, so I want to make sure that, a new thing. So let me do that. They're not urgent for me. I don't need to do them for today or tomorrow or the month, but for future. So then that way I went, oh, that's not urgent right now. And I may want to look at that maybe in February. Okay, so that popped up. So the next category that we have that we are highlighting So for me, I have this in red, but because there's no red in the zebra mild liner, I'm choosing the pink. For things that may be not important or not urgent, maybe just noise, things like, I know when I first started doing brain dump, things that are, negative thoughts or limiting beliefs that I'm not a good mom because, I feel like I've failed my children, that if I'm always nagging or screaming at my husband that I'm not a good wife, those thoughts pop into my head. It is important that we acknowledge it because it's a signal. All our thoughts and feelings are signals to say, hey, you're feeling this way or you're thinking this way because of this, something someone had said, so it's important we acknowledge it. But if we know it's not true, it's important that we don't hang and cling to those things. Things like that I'm not a good mom, that I'm falling behind, that I mustn't be good enough, that why is my neighbor or friend doing better than me? Okay, so they're noise that's going to keep our well-being, our physical, mental, and well-being, running, making us really feel stressed out or anxious or burnt out. So if they're not true, cross them out. They don't belong in your head, and for sure, they don't need to stop you from doing the things that you are great at. Okay, so really important. Or if there are worries that are valid, maybe I'm worried about my children, I'm worrying about my aging parents, circle them. And at the moment, if you don't have the time or the capacity to even look into it, put it aside. That's why we circle them, okay? Because then you might go, all right, I will give myself 20 minutes later down the track to just acknowledge these emotions and feelings and then see what I can do to, move me out of those thinking, all right? So that's where I'm going to use the pink or the red. So if you have anything that's challenging you, negative thinking, reframe it or park it and you can come back to it later. All right, so let's quickly yes. Oh, hello. Let's quickly have a look. I see Ronnie Cat joining. Hi, Marianne and Flannel Reds. Happy New Year, Ronnie Cat. Yes, pop the bubbles before it gets to your head. I love that. That is so important indeed. So really important that we do these sort of things, that they're there for a reason. We can't push it, because I know for me, when I push those thoughts aside, one way or another, they'll always pop up, and they'll probably pop up at the worst time, where you just lose it at the checkout line, you lose it someone who's not, who's taking up, all of the footpath. And so really important that we do acknowledge them. All right, so let me put a 1-minute timer on the screen for any thoughts, noise, worries, and feelings. Challenge them, cross them off if they're not true, or park it. Okay, let's go, everybody. Excellent. All right. I quickly needed to use my handheld fan right here because I am sweating under these lights and it is summer here in Sydney, Australia. Now, how do you feel? Are you feeling a little bit better if you are brain dumping and sorting along with us? Let me know. Hit that like button if you're feeling a little bit less cluttered, giving yourself a little bit of breathing room, because the next thing we're going to do is we are going to plan gently. Okay, so we are only going to look at what matters in the immediate future. That's things for today. So if you're already in your evening, maybe things that you need to do for tomorrow and the following day, or things for the week. What happens to a lot of us and where the overwhelm comes from is, first of all, we hold on to things in our head, or we think that everything needs to get done right now. As you can see, just from my own personal, sorting and categorizing. So which one is it? The purple, okay? Things that I need to look into for the month. So not today, tomorrow, the week, but for the month. I don't need to look at things that I have circled in purple right now. So my brain, I can tell my brain that, hey brain, relax. I know it seems like we have a lot of things to do, but we don't need to look at it until later on. Again, it's building trust with your own mind, your own brain to go, I know I have to do those stuff, but I don't need to worry about them until at the end of the week or the following week or even next month. And that is where brain dump and sorting gives you that time to relax a little bit and not so like go, go, go. Okay, especially this time of year, if for us planners who are going, oh, I haven't set up my January calendar, I haven't set up my habit tracker, and then now I'm seeing all these things on Instagram about, oh, let's do, this bingo, goals bingo. There's, junk journaling. I think people are now, having arguments on threads about what junk journaling is, and you want to do them all, but you can't do them all, especially if your capacity, your energy level is not at its optimum. So let's just narrow it down, funnel it down, look at only things for today and tomorrow, and then that way we can give ourselves a time to go, take it a little bit easy, Marianne. Don't stress yourself out too much. So all I'm going to be doing when I am planning for my new week is look at my greens and blues. That is it. Everything else can wait. So let me know if you have a lot, if you're finding yourself that you go, Marianne, I'll have a lot of things to do for today, tomorrow, and the week, and it's still a little bit too much. It's okay, because at the moment we're not figuring out which ones need to get done yet. We're going to write them down. And so if you find that when you write it down that it's still a lot, this is when we start to build our prioritization muscle. So if nothing gets done except one thing, have a look what it is, okay? You picked one, fantastic. If nothing else gets done, maybe apart from 2 to 3 things, you are starting to build that prioritization muscle. You may be new to it because you have always thought, I have to get everything done. If I don't, I'm going to fall behind. I'm going to stress out. I'm going to burn out. The house will be a mess. Work will be a mess. Okay. And then that's where the overwhelm can really stop you from being your best self, because now your brain has shut off, because your brain switches into survival mode. It just thinks, let's just do this, because if we don't, we might lose our job. If we lose our job, we won't have income. And then if we don't have income, we can't pay for our bills. We're going to, right? See how it snowballs? So we're going to take away that pressure for today. Okay, so what we're going to do, only look at things for today and tomorrow, and how to help us with that is a running to-do list, okay? So a running to-do list is based on the Alistair method, that we are only going to write the things for the week on one single page, all right? So for us, it's the greens and blues. We're going to write it down one after the other in no chronological order. We're not sorting yet when to do them, right? And then, as I said, if you start seeing that you may need more than one page, that's where you are going to, it's going to click that, no wonder I am stressing out. I've got too much on my plate, right? Your to-do list is always going to be full. It's a never-ending list, our to-do list. But what we need to start doing is, what can we look into just at the moment based on our plate? So if you only have a little plate because you're tired, you're sick, you want to relax a little bit, you can't put everything on the plate because it's going to overflow, and then the things are not going to get done anyway. Or if you have a bigger plate, maybe that's when you can do a little bit more this week or a little bit more next week, okay? So that's where the running to-do list visually will show you if you're putting too much on yourself. So we're only going to look at what needs attention, not what feels the loudest or the most important, that I've got to get everything done, okay? We are not going to fill our days with so much tasks to do, because we need a little bit of breathing room for our sleep, for our break, for our creativity, the things we enjoy, our hobbies, or just, watching TV, watching a movie, maybe doing some fun hobby, okay? So it's not about filling our whole day with tasks. We're just choosing what matters. So the running to-do list, I do have a video. I think I have it already in the description, but it's this one here. It goes into more detail how the running to-do list based on the Alistair method helps you see clearly whether you're putting too much on your plate. Okay, so let us take one task at a time, today's and tomorrow's and the week, and we're going to list them one by one. All right, so mark the things you mark for today, tomorrow, and this week. Don't worry about putting them in order like today and tomorrow. Just write it down. And then when you've written them down on our running to-do list, again, you can use a blank paper. You don't have to do, have my printable. Although, speaking of, if you did want one, it is in the description right now. So you just print as you go. It has two versions, a Sunday start as well as a Monday start, depending on when you start your week. All right, so now just a quick little segue. Of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you do. It really does help me out. And then that way, when I do show up again for our monthly brain dump or any other videos or podcasts, you will get notified. So hit that bell. All right, so I'm going to put a 5-minute timer on the screen. If you still need to brain dump or you need to sort, you can use that time as well. So don't worry about the order. And if you have any questions, type them in the chat as well. Are you ready? If you are ready, let us keep going. Make sure we have the timer right now. Okay, all right. So what I just did there, if you just a little recap. So everything that I had highlighted or circled in green, which is things I would like to do for today and tomorrow, as well as blue, things for the week, I wrote it down on one main page to-do list. So I have written it down in no chronological order, just what I saw on my brain dump. Once I wrote it down, I just crossed it off, so then that way I can, again, training my brain to relax. It's okay. We've written it down somewhere, so then that way it's not doubled up. And so anything that's left over, I can either look at next brain dump session, or if I have done everything for the week, then maybe I can look into what else can I fit into. But it's important with your running to-do list is that you do leave some space, because that's actually a visual reminder not to put too much on your plate. Because guess what? These are the known things you would like to do for the week, but things are always going to come up that's unplanned, that might take your time. Instead of doing this, you have to do that. So if you put too much on your plate right now, even before the week begins, it doesn't allow for movement. So again, this is a visual reminder that if you have filled this out already, you probably will have an overwhelming week next week, because you have not allowed time for things that come up. Some things that you might think will only take an hour might take up 2 hours. So give yourself breathing room. Now, if you go to me and say, Marianne, I've got a lot of stuff on my task and to do for the week, and I need more than one page. If that's the case, have a look. Is there anything that's on there that you can delegate? Just because it's on your to-do list doesn't mean it's you that has to do it, right? Ask your kids, ask your husband, ask your boss, can someone else help me with this project? Or can we move it? Or can we move it until next week? Always make sure you are asking for help, because if you have been going non-stop for 2025, feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, I feel like I'm drowning in my things that I need to do, I'm falling behind. This is the time to allow yourself and give yourself permission to breathe, not having to think that just because it's on your list, that it's you that's got to complete it, or that you cannot ask for help, okay? No more of burning ourselves out. I'm done with that. I've got too stressed, too anxious, too many sad days where I had thought those limiting and beliefs that, and I wanted to just give up. I know there's more in me, and I know there's more in you. But if you're tired, you're feeling stressed out, you are in a survival mode, and that is not the way to live, okay? Because in a survival mode, you can't make any decisions, because all our brain is thinking, who do we need to fight? What do we need to run away from? Or what do we need to do to freeze? That's us hiding under our blanket, eating junk, bags of chips and not moving. That's us freezing. It's our amygdala helping to protect us. But sometimes we can, a lot of these things that's keeping us the fight, flight, or freeze is just because we're tired. We're overworked. We feel like we're not able to catch up. We're drowning in our things that we think matter and are urgent right now. What happens when you get sick, right? You don't go to work, you have to rest. Things that was on your to-do list, guess what happens? Someone else will do them. Your boss will delegate them to someone else, or they can wait, or they're not. They don't seem that important. But we think, because we think we're abled, that we're not sick physically, we can manage still, because that's what we have trained our body to do, is to manage, to just survive, to just keep going, right? So important that we do this for ourselves. Let's make 2026 space that we give ourselves kindness and grace, that we don't put so much pressure on ourselves. I mean, hands up if you've had enough of just feeling so down, feeling so low, feeling so tired, feeling so overwhelmed, feel like you can't do this, feel like, what am I doing wrong? Any other time I can manage, 20 people. I can get projects done. But what is it about me that's not getting things right? It's because you're tired. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. So let's not put anything on our plate. Okay, let's not carry everything that don't need to get carried until later in the month, later on in the year. There's plenty of time to do the task, but guess what? There's not a lot of time to look after ourselves because we don't know what tomorrow brings. So let's make ourselves a top priority. So then that way we can help others. If we're not good mentally, if we're not good physically, or if we're not good emotionally, we're not going to be any help to anybody else anyway. And this task, doesn't matter if you write them down, no, it's not going to get done. I don't want you to break. I want us to heal. Okay, I want us to go and just put ourselves as a priority. Okay, pinky swear. Let's pinky swear. Pinky swear. Okay, let's do this for ourselves. Hello, Roseanne. Excellent. Hands up. That's right. Exactly. Hands up. That's us. That's us. We are important. We are more important than everything else on our list. Without us, the list can't get done. Okay, so now if you go, Marianne, it's still a little bit too much. I'm still a little bit overwhelmed. Okay, a brain dumped with you. Before you're watching this on replay, I've just done my brain dump. I've just categorized. I put things only on the one list, like you said, Marianne, and not to overwhelm myself, but I still can't breathe. I still have that tight feeling inside. Okay, so if everything feels a little bit too much, this is where I want us to pause. I want us to pick just one focus, just one. It doesn't have to be the most urgent. It doesn't have to be the most important. It could be the thing that just gives us a win. That is like, yay, it's off my list. Okay, so for me, for this one, I'm going to probably put, okay, I'm going to look through what is one thing that I can do right now that will just give me a little win, give me a sense of accomplishment. Okay, we have a bathtub in one of our bathrooms. We don't use it. So that's because I put, there's junk on there at the moment, but I don't want to see the junk. And so I had purchased, those tension rods and then a nice, shower curtain. And we put that away because I took everything, a couple of years ago, I took everything out of the bathtub and not as a dumping ground. And because I wanted to do, give myself some bubble baths. That's not happening. Okay, so there's one there that I'm going to focus. So here it is. Okay, I want to get my curtain first of all find my curtain rod. So choose one focus, and here's what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to break it down into 3 actionable steps. Okay, so first of all, I keep putting on my list to put up the curtain rod and then the shower curtain. That's still too big a task. First task is I got to go and find it. Okay, so I'm going to break it down into 1, 2, 3 small actionable steps. Okay, first step is find the rod and curtain. Okay, all right. Once I've found it, ask husband for help to put it up because I need to put up the curtain. Ask hubby for help. Okay, so small actionable stuff, and then put up the rod and the curtain. Okay, so small actionable step. All right, so if any time your task list feels overwhelming, just pick one. Doesn't have to be the most urgent, doesn't have to be the most important, doesn't have to be the hardest one. It could be the easiest trivial thing. Okay, so is it important for me to put the curtain rod up? No, I don't. I've been putting up with it, the bathtub being a mess. Okay, but it's an easy thing for me to do because first of all, if I only do one of these, 1, 2, or 3 tasks, it is still a win. It still is a victory for me. Gives me a sense of accomplishment. I can do it, cross it off, gives me that little bit of dopamine here. Okay, so what one thing can you look at from your today, tomorrow, and this week list that you would want to do, and then break it down into 3 small actionable steps. So this, we're not doing the perfect plan. Okay, there's no thing as perfect plan because we can't plan for everything. We're just taking 3 steps that move us forward, that moves us from being stuck, from being overwhelmed. Okay, so this is especially helpful if you feel like you're feeling behind or you're feeling cluttered. Okay, so clarity often comes from shrinking, right? Shrinking the task, not adding to it. So make it so easy, those small actionable tasks, so easy to do that it's hard to say no to them. All right, so let me know what thing that is on your list right now. If you want to share, pop it in the chat right now, or of course if you are watching in a replay, because sometimes writing or even typing it down helps solidify it, helps your brain to go, oh, let me action this for sure. So let me know what it is that you can focus on, just one little focus. And guess what happens when you've done that? You can then go and focus on one little thing again. So from this running to-do list, normally I will move the things for today and tomorrow in my daily planner or my weekly planner. So whatever you want to do. So let's say I've got Sunday there. So this is my Hobonichi original. And so I would go through the list. So the running to-do list, this one, again, based on the Alice days, you write everything down in no particular order. But what you do, let me see if it'll focus, okay, is you put little dots on what day you would like to action them, because I already know what today and tomorrow stuff are. So I either put today for today or for tomorrow, and then the other things for the week. And then if there are things that you need to do on a daily basis, you put little dot, 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 dot. Again, this video right here is going to explain in more detail how a running to-do list works, and just takes away the big clutter and help you manage your to-do list a lot better. And so what happens is, when you see too many dots on a certain day, you might go, oh, that's too much for you, Marianne. You think you might be able to manage it, but when the time comes, you don't know exactly what your energy or mood will be like. And that's why breathing room and not putting too much is really important. Or if you know Thursdays is your day off, don't put too many things on your day off, right? You're supposed to rest. That's what a day off is. You're supposed to have a rest, okay? So you can either go off your running to-do list when you are actioning or planning your week. For me, because I love planning, I will write it down on my daily planner, or I can, if you plan on a weekly basis, put it in your weekly spread, okay? You can write it down there. See, tomorrow, for my plan with me, I'm going to set up my weekly spread for January 5th to 11th. And I do create a handwritten running to-do list in that. So make sure you pop in. So if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that bell as well so you get notified of when I am on. Whatever works for you. For those of you who might go, what? I have just rewritten it there, to there, to there, to there. That's just going to be too much. But that's how my brain works. I need constant help, reminder of what I need to do. And for me, planning is a form of self-care. I enjoy rewriting things. If you don't enjoy rewriting things, don't, all right? If that's going to cause you stress, don't do it, all right? So really important. Hi, Victoria. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. Where are we? Hi, everyone. Happy New Year, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining, all right? So let's do a quick recap. Okay, we have everything when we first started in our head. We got everything down on paper, whether it's a blank piece of paper or my free printable brain dump printable guide. Okay, we sorted it based on time frames. Okay, so if you're just catching up, it's okay. We got a brain dump guide that you can download Okay, I like to categorize my things based on time frame. We did that. We circled. You can highlight whatever works for you, whatever looks pretty for you. All right, so we sorted it, and then we planned only things for the near future, things for today, tomorrow, and the week. So we reduce the pressure by breaking things down. If you feel like it's a little bit overwhelming, break it down into small actionable steps, so small that it's so easy to do and you can tick it off. And again, just because it's on your to-do list doesn't mean you have to get it finished for that day. Maybe it's just looking for a phone number for the repair guy. Okay, so really, I think we have put so much pressure on ourselves that if we put something on a particular day that we think we have to finish and complete it that day. Okay, no. So reduce the pressure by breaking things down. And guess what? That is enough for today. If that is all you can do for today, that is perfectly fine. So I have a question for you. All right, so before we wrap up, I would love to know what's one thing you're walking away with more clarity on today. So based on today's brain dump session, a step-by-step guide, what is a lot more clearer for you? Okay, so I know in the past people have gone, I don't want to do a brain dump because it might bring up a lot of things that I'm not ready for. Okay, maybe just give yourself 5 minutes or 2 minutes. But it's important that if we're keeping it in our head, our brain is holding on to that and will go and switch onto a survival mode because it's trying not to forget it. So it's becoming a storage system rather than a creative processing part of your brain. It switches. I'll tell you that it switches when you don't write things down, right? You go, gotta remember that, gotta remember that, gotta remember that, all right? So if you have had your computer and your storage, right? And then it's going to say, mine just did then, it's like your storage is low. You know how on your phone and you're taking photos and you're ready to go, and film and video are very important. And then it goes, you have no more space on your phone. And then you miss out on capturing a really special moment. It's just like that. So we have to clear the storage of our phone just the same way we need to clear the storage in our brain. Okay, so let me know what's one thing you're walking away with more clarity. Now you can share it in the chat or just note it down on your planner that, you know what, this brain dumping thing is actually really helpful. I might go and make sure I intentionally plan it in my planner. Okay, so if you're finding that the hardest part actually of brain dumping isn't the doing part or knowing what to do, but actually sitting down and doing it, you are not alone. Because a lot of times we go, yep, I know, I've got to do that, I've got to plan, but you know, you something else distracts you. Sometimes it actually helps, just like it has done today, to have someone to brain dump with, hang out with, or just a quiet company while you're clearing your own head. So this guided brain dump that we do, I do once a month on this channel. So for me, my first Sunday of each new month, depending on where you are in the world, it might be your Saturday. So we do this once a month. But if you would like to do this on a weekly basis, I do host a weekly brain dump session where we do this every week. And so you can join me live or watch the replay at a time that's more convenient for you. So if you go, Marianne, I can't wake up at this, or I can't do it at the time you're doing it, the replay is available, and it's a nice quiet session that only does go on for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on whether we have any questions that come up or any discussions at the end. Okay, so this is for a membership feature. So you can click the join button to see and find out more details, or it's in the description, and you'll get to know how this is going to feel supportive for you. All right, so brain dump for members, we already have a few members there, and so if you see anyone with a cute little pencil, as you can see, Victoria Ice Frosty has a cute little yellow pencil. So thank you, Victoria, for being a member. And so you can watch it at your own time. And it's condensed, so I don't talk too much on it. Because sometimes you go, Marianne, shh, quiet. Let me just brain dump. So it's a nice, we put a timer on with lovely music in the background, okay? So doing this brain dump session, okay, consistently, like a weekly, it's like your weekly maintenance for your brain. Just the same way you put your car in to get checked, same way that we got to, turn off our computer on and off to so it's not overheating. A brain dump is a maintenance for our mind. It teaches your brain to trust you, right? So then that way it gives you space and time and breathing room to reset. So when we skip this too long, if we keep everything on our head, I know if I don't do a brain dump, that's when the overwhelm kicks in. That's when I start to go, Marianne, you're no good, you're hopeless, you're crap at this. Oh, why don't you know what you're doing? Right? There's negative conversations that I have in my head. I would not say those things to a friend of mine. Why am I saying it to myself? Okay? We're going to feel stuck if we keep it in our head. We're going to feel exhausted and we are going to be stretched thin. So as you step into the new week, keep things simple, right? You don't have to have any of these printable. It'll be nice. It'll help support my channel, but just a plain blank notebook paper. Go grab yourself on one of those $1 spiral notebooks just to, write things down. But I do like mine to be pretty and colorful. And I do like to, so that's a freebie, brain dump guide. Also, it has the brain dump trigger list. Okay, let me just pop that back in the chat. So if you haven't yet downloaded your copy, it has the, this is a grid paper. There's also a self-care bingo card. So then you can go and plan for your breaks, okay? Keep things very, very simple and kind. One small step at a time, one page at a time, okay? You've got this. I really know you do. But if you're like me, you've been stuck in survival mode for so long, your heart feels heavy, your shoulders feel tight, you get migraines, you wake up and the first thing you do is worry. It's because you haven't given yourself an opportunity to put yourself on top of that list, to give yourself the breathing room. 2026, right? If nothing else, I want you to put you on top of that list. Make yourself one of those top 1, 2, or 3 priorities that everybody talks about, okay? So I'm going to link the running to-do list in the description, so make sure you check that out if you want to know a little bit more how to do the running to-do list or use that for yourself, okay? I celebrated my 51st birthday yesterday. I had a wonderful lunch with my family and just didn't do anything else for the rest of the day. I napped because 2026, I'm going to keep things. My word is steadiness. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to make a big grand gesture. I've done that in the past. And just I know for myself, my own capacity, that I go gung-ho for the first 2 weeks, for the first month, and then I lose motivation because I put too much pressure on myself to get everything perfect. Steadiness. So even when I have low energy, I can still maintain the habits and routines in my task. Okay, so thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that your new year has gone off to a good start. If it hasn't, it's okay. New year doesn't mean you have to start everything on the 1st of January. You can go and, embellish your calendar on January 8th. I'm picking a random date, okay? It doesn't all have to be ready right now, okay? When you're ready, give the chat a little love to say goodbye to each other, something kind to close out the session, and I really appreciate you. And make sure, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell, because tomorrow, my 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, I'm going to be back for our plan with me for the new week and our tasks and to-dos will come in handy. I get to fill out some of my weekly pages. I appreciate you. Big love to all. Take care of yourself, okay? We pinky sweared, okay? You and me, top of that list. Let's be kind to ourselves. Give ourselves grace and compassion. If we don't get it right, oopsie, correction tape, put a sticker over it, or put paper over the whole thing again and start over, okay? So make sure, be good to yourself and be each other. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Say bye in the chat. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.